Okay, so if I have a 30, 60, 90, that's another special right triangle. I know it's coming from an equilateral triangle, so if the hypotenuse is 1, I know that has to be half of it. So if I want to solve for that other side, it's just a matter of using the Pythagorean theorem. 1 squared is equal to 1/2 squared plus my unknown side squared. So I get 1 is equal to 1/2 squared is 1/4 plus x squared. So here's the thing, I minus 1/4 from both sides. So I get 3 over 4 is equal to x squared. I square root both sides. So I get x is equal to the square root of 3 over the square root of 4. Square root of 3 is that, square root of 4 is 2, so I know x is equal to root 3 over 2, which is huge to know that. Okay, you're just using Pythagorean theorem. All right, so this is what's awesome about this. So this is 60 degrees. This is 30 degrees. So across from 30 degrees is our short side. We're going to call that x. My hypotenuse always has to be twice as big as my short side. And then this long side, so this LL side that's across from my 60 degrees, always has to be equal to my short side times the square root of 3. So if I go back to our previous example, this is 1/2. If I times it by root 3 over 2 works. So here's our first example. I have 8. It wants me to get this. If my hypotenuse is 8, my short side is 4. So m has to be 4 root 3, just using those relationships. My next situation, if this is 42, a has to be half of that, so it has to be 21. And then we go here, and b has to be 21 times the root of 3. So my side length is done. Here's my next one. If this is 10, and that is my short side, the c has to be twice as big, so that has to be 20. And then that has to be 10 times the root of 3. So here's my next one. If this is 9 root 3, so I know that my short side has to be times by, that's equal to my short side times root 3. They both have root 3, so x is equal to a 9. That has to be twice as big, and that is 18. So my next one, yet again, my long side, that's equal to my short side times the square root of 3. Those are on the both things. So my short side has to be equal to 3. That has to, my hypotenuse is twice as much, so my hypotenuse is 6. Just knowing that.